Welcome back to another unboxing video where I make old family recipes. Today's recipe is made on the stove. I think it's a chili. It was on this really old handwritten note, which I could barely read and can't really read now. I don't know if you can tell, but I ripped it in like 3 places, so it's taped together. I am not going to be looking off this recipe. I don't want to damage it any further, but I did write it down, so I'm going to be going off of this recipe rather than that one because this notebook can take a little more abuse if I get anything on it. I think it's a chili recipe. It doesn't say it is. It wasn't under soups in the box. It was just kind of in there with everything else. So I think this is a chili recipe, and I think there were 2 names on there. There's the name I could read, Mrs. Jev Parker, so I'm Genevieve maybe, and yeah, so if you can see this, look at that. If you can kind of see this, this is the Mrs. Jeff Parker, but there's also some sort of name up here that's kind of been scribbled out, right where the tape is. So I don't know who this is from, and I'm assuming it's a chili recipe. It's got ground beef, onion, beans, tomatoes, chili powder, salt, pepper, and oil, so it'll cook. And that's it. So I'm assuming this is a chili recipe, but I guess we will see. I'm really interested in this one because I've been trying to do more meal prep, and if this turns out good, I have a whole thing of chili for the next couple weeks. So let us get started. I'm going to apologize in advance. I don't know how much of the pot you're going to be able to see. I will tilt the screen down so you can see into it, but I don't know how much you're actually going to see. So let's get started. That's not too shabby. That's not too bad. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is turn our stove on because I hadn't even done that. The recipe calls for lard, but I'm just going to use this olive and soy oil that I have. It's just so that the meat won't stick, and I'm not even gonna measure it because but I won't need a lot. Cooking on my own has taught me that I don't need a lot. Right, for this first step is to cook the meat. It's the first thing we have to do. So I got a pound of ground beef. The recipe says you can use beef and or pork, but I don't know. Beef is beef. It's pretty easy to deal with. All right, I can't see any obvious pink spots. Oh, there's a couple chunks. Those are okay. I think they're good to move on. Yep, okay. Next is to add a bunch of stuff in. The first thing is beans. The recipe says 1 cup of brown beans, so I got red beans, which is not what it was called for, but you know. I'm also going to turn this down to medium so it doesn't burn on me. Also, did it say cup or can? Hold on. 1 cup. It feels like an extra lot of work I have to do just to get 1 cup of this, but okay. Alright, we're back with 1 cup measure, which I think is going to end up being most of the can, but I do want to be specific. I don't know what I'm going to do with the last of this can, but it's there. Alright, so the beans. And then we need, okay, so I had to do some math. The recipe called for 1 quart of string tomatoes, and then later in the recipe it said diced. So I got 2 cans of diced tomatoes, and this should be, it's not quite a whole quart, but it's pretty close. Each can is 14 ounces. So again, I could have bought my own tomatoes and diced them, but I was like, my knife can, I'm not good at cutting. That's the only reason. I'm not good at cutting things. Would I get better if I did it more often? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not. I'm gonna need to go drain these. I played myself. I pushed the caps down too far. There we go. Ow. Come on. Come on. There we go. I'll stir that. Alright, what's next is diced onions, which I did beforehand. I'm gonna let this simmer for a little bit while I do some cleanup. Time to add all the rest of it. 1 tablespoon chili powder, which is, I can't even get my measuring spoon in there, so I'm gonna play a dangerous game. And yes, it did say tablespoon. Woo! Come on. Close enough. This whole recipe is just close enough. And then it says salt and pepper to taste. I don't know what my taste is, so let me reference my mom's chili recipe, which she gave to me, and see what it says. And then again, hers probably doesn't have any salt in it. The one time, bless her heart, my mom gave me a chili recipe, which I have in the front of my cookbook. This is a really good cookbook, by the way. It's full of, like, easy recipes. But I have her recipe in front of the cookbook. And I forgot that she gave me the seasonings already pre-portioned, so I didn't have to measure anything. So, we're just gonna guess. That sounds fun, right? Alright, I have my black pepper. I've heard you can go really overboard with pepper, so we're just gonna call it good there. I'm already thinking of other seasonings I might put into this, because I can tell this is gonna be a little bland. Nice big chunks of onions. Then I need some salt. This is the last thing I'm gonna have to add. Again, I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I usually go a little overboard with salt anyway. That was probably a bit much. Alright. This is like, I would barely call this a chillate. So, I'm going to check the recipe one more time, see if it said anything about cooking time. I don't think it did. Let's consult the ancient texts. So I am supposed to let this simmer until the onions are well done. So, that's all it says. I'm gonna let this sit here and simmer for, what time is it? Oh, it's like 10 o'clock. What do I have it on? I have it on a medium heat right now. I think I'll let it sit here for, those onions are not well done at all. Maybe about, where's the lid? Maybe about 10-ish minutes. And then come back and see how thick it is. I might have to add some boiling water, but it looks like it's starting to kind of loosen up is not the word I was looking for. Liquefy? Something like that. So we'll let her rest a little bit, and I'll be back in about 10-ish minutes to give an update. This is not quite boiling, but it's about how long I put my tea in the microwave if I make tea, so I think that's good enough. Just gonna add a little bit of at a time. Oh, that's a lot more than I thought it would. That's a lot better. I crank that heat up a little more. I think that's good enough. So I'll get a more proper spoon to put some in a bowl, and then I'm gonna make sure it cools because I don't want to burn my mouth. I've already burned so many other things. Speaking of burns, update. So this pink line right here, that is from the meatball episode, the last time I actually cooked. And I think it's just a scar now. It hasn't healed since then, and well, where's she at? There she is. Hasn't healed since then. So it's just a momentum of my stupidness when cooking. It doesn't hurt. It's just a little embarrassing because I got it from a cooking mistake. Just me leaning on a pan. Nothing like heroic or brave or anything. It's just me leaning on a hot glass pan. Hi. Welcome back to the normal setup. I don't know what happened in the 20 minutes from when I stopped recording to when I just came here, but I am exhausted. I still have things I need to do. So, I have a bowl of chili. I think that's what it is. It's still warm. Feels very nice. And if it's not too hot, we'll have some. Bottoms up. That's not too bad. Oh, I just swallowed. I must be really hungry because I was planning on like slowly chewing it and like I mean like yes, it's like wine tasting, but no, my body was just like, get that down now, and I swallowed. Wow. Okay, let's take a little bit with this one. So that one almost killed me. Oh no. Oh. I should be showing off this side. Today, the day I'm recording is Yoshinoriu's birthday. Not that I don't celebrate character birthdays, but fun facts. There's a flying bug in here. Okay, so I kid you not, I'm not trying to be overact or anything. Literally just what is going on? Okay, the chaos is real tonight. Take 3. I have some assumptions, but I still want to like try and slowly eat one of these bites and not die. So, the first thing is that this is pretty bland. It's kind of like the meatballs. Because it's pretty bland. Even though there's a whole honking tablespoon of chili powder in here. Could have added more salt and pepper. Because I didn't know how much. I don't know what my taste of salt and pepper is. But yeah, it's pretty bland. It's not bad. But it reminds me sort of how that the meatballs are kind of like comfort food. Like, this is a comfort food. Like, it's just simple. It's warm. It's... You need something quick on a cold night. You get your chili, and you get your, like, your tea, and you're in your blanket, and you like watching a movie. This is what this is for. I feel like... I'm gonna add two of my favorite seasonings, chives and garlic. I really like chives. I put that on everything. I know this sounds like a lot, but it's not. It doesn't want to come out. And a little bit of this. Oh, that's a lot. Alright, let's try this. There's already like more to it. I didn't even add that much. This is a good recipe. It's pretty simple. You just throw everything together after the meat cooks. The other problem is now that I have this whole thing to fit into Tupperware or food storage, and I am recently realized that I'm rapidly running out of available food storage, so I might just have to eat more of this tonight. But this is a pretty easy, fun, pretty easy recipe. It kind of just cooks itself. Would definitely add more seasonings, maybe even oregano. But it's not a showstopper. But I am glad that I know what it is now, because the recipe was not labeled at all. I pulled it out of the box and I was like, first of all, this is gonna rip. Second of all, what is this? So I now have two chili recipes. One from my mom and one from I don't know who, because there are two names on that recipe. So this is pretty good. I feel like I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video was a little late. I have a couple projects. I had things I was doing for multiple classes and people at once, so that took a little bit. But rest assured that I'm not gonna miss an upload, and if I do, some act of some deity has stricken, cast me. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to not interact with the video. And I'll see you next time with I don't know what. I have been chatting with some of my friends about maybe having guests on this show, so maybe within the next couple episodes, next couple weeks, we'll have some guests, and we'll see if you really can have too many chefs in the kitchen. Thanks for watching. Bye.